my senior colleague, Kishan Reddy Garuji, all the honorable MLAs, honorable MP Saab, and very dear friends from the IT industry. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. We had a very exciting roundtable. We fielded questions. It was like UPSC interview. Very tough questions. Your seniors, I can now, those of you who have your bosses sitting here, now I know how difficult your life is. I'll cover 5 topics. Topic number 1 will be about IT industry. So I'll start with the IT industry. I know all of us are going through some of the most transformative times. What we learnt in college or what we learnt during work is changing every day, every week, every quarter. AI has fundamentally transformed the way IT industry is structured. There is a significant growth in the capabilities of AI every week, and every new model brings new capabilities. How do we place ourselves in that scenario? As the IT industry, which has been serving the entire world for many decades now, and made a very proud place for our young people. Once I remember in the Times Square, मैं हिंदी में बोलूँ इंग्लिश में? So once in New York में टाइम्स स्क्वायर में मैंने थोड़ा सा जोर से बोला नमस्ते अंडी बाउनारा. Actually 10-15 people looked at me. That is the power of our youth, which has gone to the entire world and actually created solutions for the entire world. Now in the AI world, how do we create that power once again? We were discussing in the round table. What emerged is that our biggest strength is our trust that we have in the entire world. How's that trust placed? That trust comes from our capability to go in any company, any enterprise, any industry, understand that industry, find the problems, identify the solutions, and then deploy those solutions. I think the entire consensus in the roundtable was that this IT industry must now pivot towards finding those good solutions where, like in the past, we were providing the solutions through software as a service. Now we must provide solutions through AI as a service. That solution provision has to be done by industry and academia together. Academia will also have to come together and train our people who are working in the industry currently, as well as the people who are coming out of the colleges now. Recently we worked with NASSCOM, and NASSCOM has created a very good course curriculum, which now we have given to the Ministry of Education and AICTE, so that the people who are the students who are there in the colleges, they can get the latest exposure to the AI world, which they have to see after coming out of the college. That way we can keep increasing our growth and develop our industry, the IT industry, in a totally new form. And that is the pivot which we will have to actively take. It will require a lot of hard work from the industry. It will require a lot of hard work from the universities and colleges, and from the government side we'll support in every which way that we can support. Definitely it is a journey that we will have to do together. The second point I want to cover today is about the new opportunities which are related to this field. IT industry is very closely related to the semiconductor industry. All of us know that India wanted to develop a semiconductor industry ever since 1960s. Finally, the success has come now because of Prime Minister's very focused work on the semiconductor industry. Today we have 12 plants under different stages, where 3 plants have already started manufacturing the chips, which are now exported to Japan, to Europe, to US. And along with that is coming a complete ecosystem of extremely complex chemicals, very highly, immensely pure, like 9 level pure, you are all technical guys, you know what 6 sigma is and what 8 sigma is. That level of purity gases are now coming up in our country. Then a whole design ecosystem is developing. And people say the talent shortage in the semiconductor industry is of the order of 1 million talent globally, 1 million talent shortage. So that kind of opportunity can be taken up by our IT industry, because we know what electronics is, we know what IT is, we know how to design and develop totally new solutions. So we as IT industry should take up this opportunity in a very big way. And to support your journey, government has provided the latest and the most advanced semiconductor design tools, EDA tools what we call, Synopsys, Cadence, to 315 universities. 315 universities. And this is where the students are actually using the latest EDA tools, designing chips. Those chips are manufactured in our semiconductor laboratory in Mohali. And students are actually able to test the product on an electronics board, the chip that they designed, which got manufactured and then deployed on a board. Not more than a few handful of universities in the entire world can claim that their students have this kind of capability. And we have developed a large talent pool because of this thought and this process of having, including the universities in the entire semiconductor design ecosystem. That talent pool is now available for the IT industry to use and deploy and further develop the IT industry in the semiconductor design and manufacturing ecosystem. The third point I want to cover is electronics manufacturing. What my senior colleague just mentioned, today electronics manufacturing industry, from lithium ion batteries to cells to capacitors to resistors to PCBs to PCB assembly to camera modules to mobile phones to large industrial electronics, electronics manufacturing industry is now growing at a double-digit CAGR and already crossed 13 lakh crore rupees industry. Last year, electronics exports became the third largest exported category in our country, which we could never even imagine few years ago. So that change has already happened. Last year, mobile phone as HSN code became the single largest exported item out of India. Single largest, the largest exported item. It always used to be petroleum products, gems and jewelry, textiles, engineered goods, pharmaceuticals. One by one, electronics has been overtaking these sectors, and now it has become, as a category, third largest, and as single product, the single largest exported item. And it's rapidly growing. From 13 lakh crore, very soon it will become 20 lakh crore. And now it is employing 25 lakh persons in our entire electronics manufacturing industry. And very rapidly it is moving up the value chain. From initially doing the assembly work, then moving on to module manufacturing. Now we are coming into component manufacturing, and that entire component design, that entire value chain is now coming into India. So this is where a lot of opportunities will come for the people who are associated with technical fields, because a lot of design work, lot of design validation work, lot of one of the during the roundtable, one of the colleagues asked, how can we support the small industries? This is where many new opportunities will come up. So that is the third point that I wanted to cover. Fourth point I want to cover is, in the third point I would just want to mention that the support from Government of India for the state of Telangana for electronics manufacturing has been huge. By now we have 104 electronics manufacturing companies working in state of Telangana. 104. 4 large clusters have been sanctioned by the central government for Telangana, where electronics manufacturing companies are working. We have also sanctioned and provided one, what we call CFC, Common Facility Center. As those of you who are connected with hardware design would know, that if you design a prototype, you need a place where you can test a prototype, design the boards, see how different environmental conditions and different use cases that particular product will be useful. So all those things are today available in Hyderabad, in Telangana. So my request is, those of us in the IT industry who are connected with the design and testing and validation of hardware will find new opportunities, go out and look for those new opportunities. I'll come to the fourth point now. Fourth point is about bullet trains. As you are aware, the first bullet train project is right now under construction between Mumbai and Ahmedabad, and the progress is immense. Next year we will start the first section of bullet train in the Mumbai-Ahmedabad section between Surat and Bilimora. Then section by section, immediately after that, we'll go from Vapi to Surat, then we'll go from Vapi to Ahmedabad, then Ahmedabad to Thane, then Ahmedabad to Mumbai. So that is the phase by phase, section by section opening will start from next year onwards. And our country has come up on this learning curve. This is a very difficult, very steep learning curve of manufacturing and designing and constructing a system which will take trains which will run trains at 350 kilometers per hour. 350 kilometers per hour, you can imagine the kind of vibrations, the kind of dynamics, the kind of interaction between the wheel and the rail, the kind of interaction between the overhead wire and the pantograph. It's phenomenal. It's very, very, very complex. In fact, when a train moves at 350 kilometers, it is moving like a bullet, and there is a vacuum which gets created around the moving train, because it is moving at that kind of velocity. When it is moving at that velocity, the air displacement happens in a very different way, and vacuum gets created around the entire train. So those kind of designs have been, now our country has learnt those designs. We have come up that learning curve. So that's why our Prime Minister sanctioned 7 more bullet train corridors. And very happy to share with you that Hyderabad is the biggest beneficiary of Hyderabad and Telangana is the biggest beneficiary of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji's policies, because as I said, in electronics manufacturing, a large number of companies have come to Telangana. Similarly, 3 bullet corridors will come to Hyderabad. 3 bullet train corridors will come to Hyderabad. And Prime Minister Modi ji has made Hyderabad as the hub for bullet train projects. From Hyderabad to Pune, Hyderabad to Chennai, Hyderabad to Bengaluru. This will become a one single economic region, because if you want to travel from Hyderabad to Amravati, the new city which is getting developed in Andhra Pradesh, Hyderabad to Amravati will be just 1 hour and 10 minutes, 70 minutes. Hyderabad to Chennai will be just 3 hours. So you sit in the train with eat avakai here and go to Chennai, do your work, eat sapadam, sapadam in Chennai, have very good dosa there, come back and have food with your family in the night, same day. So that kind of facility will be available. And Hyderabad to Bengaluru will be just 2 hours and 35 minutes. Just 2 hours and 35 minutes. So it will become practically one city. And Hyderabad to Pune, which is another very big industrial and technical cluster, will be just 2 hours, 120 minutes. 123 minutes to be precise, 123 minutes. It will be that closeness between these large economic centers, and Pune to Mumbai is going to be 48 minutes. Pune to Mumbai will be 48 minutes. So Hyderabad to Mumbai will become 2 hours and 50 minutes. 2 hours and 50 minutes will be Hyderabad to Mumbai. So that kind of connectivity will totally change the landscape of our country, and similar benefits will be seen in North India, where from Delhi to Varanasi, Delhi to Lucknow to Varanasi to Patna to Siliguri, that entire corridor will totally compress the travel times. This will be a great change in our country, and all this will be made in India, designed in India, making our country a proud player in the bullet train ecosystem. There will be people who try to claim credit for this. I'm not taking any names. Why are you laughing? But we know that this kind of vision was possible only and only with one leader, Shri Narendra Modi ji. Nobody in our country ever dared in the 50, 60 years, 70 years to think big, think for developing a country to a Viksit Bharat. All along it was a politics of different level, and now it is politics of performance, now it is politics of development, now it is politics of taking our country to Viksit Bharat, to a developed nation status by 2047. And that is why the entire credit goes to our leadership, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who thought big, who planned big, who executed big, and who is today giving that huge impetus to Hyderabad, to the city, and to the state of Telangana, to the entire South Indian states, where the maximum number of bullet trains are going to come. Hyderabad to Chennai, Hyderabad to Amravati, Hyderabad to Pune, Hyderabad to Bengaluru, Bengaluru to Chennai. This many number of bullet trains will come to the states in South India, and that kind of change will totally transform the economy of our states. I'll come to the last point, the fifth point of my opening remarks, which is about railways. And as my senior colleague Kishan Reddy Garuji was mentioning, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has increased the budget of railway development in Telangana immensely. During the UPA government, the combined states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh used to get 880 crore rupees as the railway budget. Only 880 crore rupees. Combined, I am saying. Today, Telangana alone is getting 5,454 crore. Telangana alone is getting 5,400 crore rupees for development of railways. And the result is for all of us to see. I'll share with you some very relevant projects. This is the Secunderabad station. This is the Secunderabad station being developed in a totally new form, totally new way. And you'll ask me, you are showing the photograph, what is the work? This is the work which is actually happening now. This is the work which is actually happening now. My friends from media, please go and see the work which is there on the ground. The actual work, the building work, construction work is going on very rapidly. And those of you who will ask that why, when will it be completed? Because my friends outside from the Congress will ask this question. Let me answer them that in the world, when they do a railway redevelopment work, they stop the traffic. Some countries, some examples are there where for 7 years traffic was stopped. We cannot stop the traffic. So we have to do with great care while the traffic is still there. So that's why we are doing with that kind of care. Look at this one. This is the complete air concourse being built over the platforms, right? So while the trains are actually moving on the tracks, in the station, we have to construct this air concourse, which is like a roof like this, over all the platforms. So we have to be extremely careful. We are working very diligently, lot of care, lot of safety, lot of focus on quality. This will be the Hyderabad station, the old city. Sir, your Nampally station. This is now station which is completed, which will now be inaugurated, Begumpet. This is already completed now, and very soon we'll inaugurate it. Honorable Prime Minister will inaugurate it. And this is our own high-tech city, completed already. Go and see it, have good coffee there. This is Warangal, completed. Warangal is completed already. This is Karimnagar. Already completed. Already done, completed now. Out of the 1,300 stations that we have taken up in the entire country, 261 stations have already been completed at a pace which was unprecedented. Why I'm saying unprecedented? From 1947 onwards, if you look at our history after independence, no government ever took the redevelopment, which is complete reconstruction, Nav Nirman, complete reconstruction of the stations which were old. Yes, sometimes paint was done and ribbons were cut. Sometimes different small little amenities were added. But our Prime Minister took the challenge of reconstructing, fully transforming, not just one station, two stations, three stations, but 1,300 stations. That is the challenge he has given. So out of that, 261 now already completed, and by the end of this year it will be 400 stations completed, and by end of next year 700 stations would have been completed. Totally transforming the railways. This is Kajipet Junction. And this is Malakpet. Many more stations are there in Telangana. 40 stations are there. I just brought a few. So this is the way railways is getting transformed. Simultaneously, we have seen Vande Bharat. How many of you have travelled? When I travelled in Vande Bharat, I tested Vande Bharat on parameters which are comparable to the best in the world. And the best in the world is bullet train. Best in the world are trains in Europe, right? On technical parameters, our Vande Bharat is no way less compared to any train in the world. You put a glass of water in Vande Bharat and it will not shake. And the reason for that is the extreme focus on design. When you see a truck, the truck interacts with the road through a mechanical structure called the chassis, correct? Similarly, in a train, there is a mechanical structure called bogie. In a common parlance, when we say bogie, जो ट्रेन का डिब्बा होता है, we call it bogie, no. But in technical terms, bogie is the underframe. The underframe on which the coach is manufactured. Underframe basically becomes the interaction between the track through the wheel onto the rest of the coach. The motor is mounted on the underframe, gear is mounted on the underframe, the brake is mounted on the underframe. All these major structures are mounted on the underframe, which is called bogie in the railway terminology. Bogie design was so precise that we are today having such a great quality of ride index in the Vande Bharat trains. And Telangana has got 5 services and many more services are now coming. Recently we launched the Vande Bharat sleeper also between Guwahati and Kolkata, and the experience is phenomenal. Some of our friends from the rich world, they just to find out mistakes, they sent their people in the Vande Bharat sleeper. And when those, if you see those, some of those videos made by some European nationals, it's phenomenal. They say that the only problem we found was that the passengers sometimes talk in a very loud voice. That's the only problem they could find out. Or the food given was too much. So, I mean, yes, we have to improve a lot and we have to work very hard to reach that level of developed nation. But the foundations are being built today. The foundations are being built today. In just 12 years, we have constructed 36,000 kilometers of railway tracks. 36,000 kilometers. We have completed the entire dedicated freight corridor. Imagine 2014, 0 kilometers of dedicated freight corridor was completed, 0. Not a single kilometer was constructed. By now we have constructed the entire network, about 2,700 kilometers. Entire railway network, 99.4% we have already electrified. And we have seen during the recent crisis the benefits of electrification that came to our country. We don't require diesel anymore for, I mean, that kind of change, that kind of vision, that kind of thought process is possible only when we have a leadership which thinks far, thinks ahead, executes meticulously, values the professionals, and that is the leadership that we have today in our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji. And that is why sector after sector is getting transformed. I'll stop here and thank you once again for inviting me here. We had a very good roundtable. We'll follow up on all the points that we discussed so that we can make those changes in the industry. Thank you very much. Dhanyavad Andi.